Brian Giles with Brian Giles MTG. And this is the second part of the Brothers War Transformer spoilers. Now, we have 9 cards to go through. So I'm going to try to go through this a little faster. If you need info on some of the mechanics, please go back and see the first video. We explain all the mechanics back then. Also, just as a reminder, some of the cards here are going to be appearing in their original Japanese names instead of the names they were changed to in the American version. So first up is one of those in Cyclonus the Saboteur. Now Cyclonus is Galvatron, for those of you that don't know. Cyclonus the Saboteur is 1 blue, 1 black, and 2 for a 2/5 legendary artifact creature robot. With more than meets the eye of 1 blue, 1 black, and 5 colorless, he has flying. Whenever Cyclonus deals combat damage to a player, it connives. If Cyclonus' power is 5 or greater, converted. And his flip side is he's a 5/5 legendary artifact vehicle with living metal, flying. Whenever Cyclonus deals combat damage to a player, converted. If you do, there's an additional beginning phase after this phase. Interesting. So that's Cyclonus Cybertronian Fighter. Next up we have Blaster Combat DJ. 1 red, 1 green, 3 colors for a 3/3 legendary artifact creature robot. And he can more than meets the eye for 1 red, 1 green, and 1 colorless. Other non-token artifact creatures and vehicles you control have modular 1, which means they enter the battlefield with an additional +1/+1 counter on them. When they die, you may put their 1 +1/+1 counter on target artifact creature. Whenever you put 1 or more +1/+1 counters on Blaster, convert it. So Blaster's flip side is Blaster Morale Booster, a legendary artifact with modular 3, which means you enter with 3 +1+. Creatures enter with 3 +1/+1 counters. And for X and tap him, move X +1/+1 counters from Blaster onto another target artifact. That artifact gains haste until end of turn. If Blasters has no +1/+1 counters on, convert it. Activate only as a sorcery. So this guy makes counters and moves them around. Hoo-ha! Next up we have Prowl, Stoic Strategist. 1 white, 3 colorless for a 3/3 legendary artifact creature robot with more than meets the eye of 1 white and 2 colorless. Whenever Prowl attacks, exile up to 1 other target tapped creature or vehicle. For as long as that card remains exiled, its owner may play it. Whenever player plays an exile whenever a player plays a card exiled with Prowl, you draw a card and convert Prowl. His flip side is Prowl Pursuit Vehicle, a 2/3 legendary artifact vehicle with living metal. As long as it's your turn, Yeah, it's also a creature. Whenever another creature or vehicle enters the battlefield under your control, put a +1/+1 counter on Prowl. This is the second time this ability is resolved this turn. Convert Prowl. So lots of token stuff being put on. Next up, we have Ratchet Field Medic, 1 white and 2 colorless for a 2/4 legendary artifact creature robot with more than meets the eye of 1 white and a colorless, and lifelink. Whenever you gain life, you may convert Ratchet. When you do, return target artifact card with mana value less than or equal to the amount of life you gain this turn from your graveyard to the battlefield tap. So his flip side is Ratchet Rescue Racer, a 1/4 legendary artifact vehicle with living metal and lifelink. Whenever 1 or more non-token artifacts you control are put into a graveyard from the battlefield, convert Ratchet. This ability triggers only once per turn. Next up, we have Jetfire Ingenious Scientist. 1 blue and 4 for a 3/4 legendary artifact creature robot with more than meets the eye of 1 blue and 3 colorless. He has flying. Remove 1 or more +1/+1 counters from among artifacts you control. Target player adds that much colorless mana. This mana can't be spent to cast non-artifact spells. Convert Jetfire. And his flip side is Jetfire Air Guardian. It's a 3/4 legendary artifact vehicle with living metal, flying, for 3 blue mana, convert Jetfire, and then adapt free, which means if it has no +1/+1 counters on it, put 3 +1/+1 counters on it. So, hoo-ha! Next up, we have Blitzwing Cruel Tormentor. 1 black and 5 for a 6/5 legendary artifact creature robot with more than meets the eye of 1 black and 3 colorless. At the beginning of your end step, target opponent loses life equal to the life that player lost this turn. If no life was lost this way, convert Blitzwing. So Blitzwing, flip side is Blitzwing Adaptive Assailant, a 3/5 legendary artifact vehicle with living metal. At the beginning of combat on your turn, choose Flying or Indestructible at random. Blitzwing gains that ability until end of turn. Whenever Blitzwing deals combat damage to a player, convert it. Next up, we have RC Sharpshooter. 1 red, 1 white, 1 colorless for a 2/2 legendary artifact creature robot with more than meets the eye of a red and a white. She has first strike, and you pay 1 colorless mana, remove 1 or more +1/+1 counters from RC. It deals that much damage to target creature. Convert RC. Her flip side is she's a 2/2 legendary artifact vehicle with living metal. Whenever you cast a spell that targets 1 or more creatures or vehicles you control, put that many counters on RC and then convert RC. Fun, fun. Next up, we have Ultra Magnus Tactician. A red, a green, and a white, and 4 colors for a 7/7 legendary artifact creature robot with more than meets the eye of a red, a green, and a white, and 2 colors. And he's a 7/7 with Ward 2. Whenever Ultra Magnus attacks, you may put an artifact creature card from your hand onto the battlefield, tapped and attacking. If you do, convert Ultra Magnus at the end of combat. So his flip side is Ultra Magnus Armored Carrier. He's a 4/7 legendary artifact vehicle with living metal and haste. And formidable. Whenever Ultra Magnus attacks, attacking creatures you control gain indestructible until end of turn. Those creatures have a total power of 8 or greater, convert Ultra Magnus. And next up, we have Megatron Tyrant. A red, a white, and a black, and 3 colors for a 7/5 legendary artifact creature robot with more than meets the eye of a red, a white, and a black, and a colorless. Your opponents can't cast spells during can't cast spells during combat. At the beginning of your post-combat main phase, you may convert Megatron. If you do, add a colorless mana for each 1 life opponents have lost this turn. His flip side is Megatron Destructive Force. He's a 4/5 legendary artifact vehicle with living metal. Whenever Megatron attacks, you may sacrifice another artifact. When you do, Megatron deals damage equal to the sacrifice artifact's mana value to target creature. If excess damage would be dealt to that creature this way, instead, damage is dealt to that creature's controller and you convert Megatron. Ouch! That'll feel good in the morning. Okay. I'm going to reload. That's because the rest of the cards are the alternate versions of them. Because as I said in my previous video, all these cards have an alternate version of them. The broken window versions. But that's it for that's it for for the Transformers spoilers. So there's a lot of stuff that's going to be just jam-packed into Brothers War. And I know that a lot of collectors for Transformers will want these cards. They'll want to collect all 30 cards. Because there are 15 cards, and each one has an alternate version. So there are 30 cards in total, and they're going to be found in collector, in set, and also in bundles, which bundles carry set packs, but they may have that may be a special card that may be in the, the pre-release versions of the bundles, the pre-release slot. Not pre-release, but what do they call that? I can't remember that, but I'm sure most of you experienced Magic players will remind me what that is. It's the card that comes with the land pack. Well, that's it for now. I've got 2 videos more to upload. I've already recorded the Littler Walkers video. That'll be up, and then this also will be up. And I'm already uploading a channel update right now because I've tinkered around with a tower that I didn't think that worked, and it just had a really odd configuration to it, and I just slapped my hard drive from my original computer, the one that broke down, and I put it in that, and it works. It's better. It's not sloggy. Yahoo! So you guys have a wonderful day. We will see you on the next video.